Hey, this is CRT, Chris from Rekkid Talk, and so this is going to be a contest. Where in the world is Craig Danger, vinyl record player? Craig is celebrating his first anniversary, and he wants to base his contest around the idea of blind buys. And so I've decided to theme it on sort of my cheap thrift store blind buys in the international music scene, quote unquote world music, which is a bad descriptor because it's basically just used to describe things that aren't like from the United States or Canada or the UK or Western Europe or Australia. That's all in English. So I've got records from all over the world. Nothing's in English. A lot of it is instrumental. A couple are very recent pickups. Some I've had for a few years. And so let's start off with Venezuela. So this has got a floppy cover. So the band is called Super Combos Los Tropicales, Super Bailabes. I'm probably butchering that pronunciation, but super danceable songs. Super Combo Los Tropicales. And so there they are. And so they have, you can see they have various styles of Latin American music that they do. A lot of salsa and cumbia. They even have a rock song on here. I'm guessing by this cool cover. I think this is from the mid 1960s. There's no date printed on this one, and this my internet's search ring didn't help me out much. It's on the Disco Moda label, which is a label that still exists, sort of a family-owned label from Venezuela, and the children of the founder are still running the company. Some of them run it in South America. They actually have a branch in Miami as well. And that one's really cool, really danceable. Might be my favorite of the bunch I'm going to show you. Next, we have Watusi Drums from the Burundi Record Company. Now, I was able to find very little information about this record online. So there you go, the Burundi record label, Watusi Drums. Of course, the thing that drew me to it was that it's exciting, wild, and orgiastic. So that sounds like quite the seller. I'll be honest, this one's kind of a disappointing. You've got basically some pretty basic drumming, some pretty basic chanting going on in some of the songs. Maybe it's from Burundi, maybe it's from another African country. I'm actually sort of suspecting that we've got some white guy in a studio in the US or Europe that's pretending to be African on this. I'm just getting a vibe that maybe this isn't completely authentic. And again, this is another one, no date on it, no date information. I don't exactly know when this came out. Next one we have for you is Sukai, Music of the Andes. And so this, of course, is traditional Andean music made by white people from the United States and Europe. And so the man on the left is named Edmund Badu, who was a kind of a pan flute harp player. His then wife, Quentin Howard, is on the right. I know she played, she was also sort of mastered the Andean flutes. I think they were musicologists that got sort of swept up with the music of the Andes. And so it came out on the Flying Fish Records. This was their debut from 1978. And this group still exists, puts out a lot of music. Now, Edmund and Quentin eventually divorced. Quentin and her new husband, the Bolivian musician Eddie Navia, still have this group. I liked it better than the drumming record, but not as much as the Venezuelan record. So this is again would be basically music from like Peru and Bolivia and Ecuador, and In fact, I mean, they kind of state on here where these songs are coming from. And it's a little bit too, I guess it's a little bit too flute based for me. I guess I'm not that big of a flute fan. Maybe I don't listen to enough Jethro Tull either. We're going to go to Eastern Europe for the last two records for this. So here's a $1 fine. Ensemble Pelenita. So this is Romanian folk music. Look at these happy Romanian chaps jumping in this field of sunflowers. Again, a very, so this is just a very basic paper cover, not thick cardboard. This is in English, so apparently they were producing this for an overseas market. So basically, the Amasul Pernita. This is, again, something I think is from the mid-1960s. Elect Record was the state label in Romania. So this was a traditional folk music ensemble based in Bucharest that had existed since the 1930s. Lots of well-known conductors and instrumentalists and folk singers performed in this. And there's definitely, you can hear the orchestra in the background, so it's not like we just went to a village and recorded people. It was definitely people who were professionals. If you want something that's a little bit more field recording based, I know I've shown this record before. So this is Songs of Mytilene and Chios. So this is the island of Lesbos, and then Chios. So these would be Aegean islands located near Turkey. And so there was a large series of these that came out in the 1970s. This one from 1974. Field recordings that had been recorded over the years, largely by the musicologist Simon Karras. And so this particular one, and they'll sound different depending on what region is being highlighted. So this one there is a bit of the sampuna, so the man on the left, sort of that goatskin bag would be sort of a Greek version of bagpipes. Also, a lot of the music from like northern Greece would feature that as well. It doesn't make for the world's easiest listen. It's not going to be as fun as the Venezuelan music. That one's certainly the most party-based one that I'm showing here. Then you've got some basic drumming. There's a violin on a lot of the songs as well. They don't have a violinist on the cover. But a few of the songs feature singing, which of course is in Greek. So there you go. Where in the world is Craig Danger?